Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 53 on my RLDR custom creation YouTube channel. And today we're finally going to start building those drawer faces and doors for my bathroom vanity. I figured out what kind of pull I'm going to have on it, and now we're going to make them. So stay tuned. Well, like I said in the intro, we're finally to the point where we have the bathroom usable. Hey, the door went in a couple of days ago, or was it last week? And we have some privacy in there now, and the shower works, toilet works, sink works, everything works good, except I don't have a bathroom vanity yet, so there's no mirror in there, but we'll fix that temporarily fairly soon. But anyway, we're moving right along. And it finally came to the point where all the things that I needed to build the drawer faces and the pulls that I wanted came to place. So what we're going to do is, this is just a mock-up I've made, and it's a mess because I played with other designs on this edge. But basically what's going to happen, and I'm pretty sure I saw this idea on the internet somewhere, so I can't take credit for it being an original design. Maybe I should bring it just a little bit closer so you can kind of see what's happening. Okay, so this I haven't glued in yet. This comes out. We are going to scallop these edges with my panel raising bit. This wood, the drawer face itself is 7/8. So gives me a little bit more meat to work with around the edges and things like that. This is a 3-inch hole. This one's 5/8 deep, but on the final version, this is going to be a 1/2 inch deep hole. And then the handle fits in like this. Now, my wife isn't terribly fussy about this handle yet. She would like it to basically be smooth when you slide over it and not up so high. And now that I realize how much room we have there, this is too high. So this is what we're making. Now, it would have been a lot simpler and a lot easier just to go to a hardware store of some sort and buy pulls and screw them on. I would have done this right away, then I wouldn't have had to order any fancy bits or anything. But I didn't want to do that. I really like this look, and it's going to be smooth and streamlined and a little different. So this is the mock-up. This is pine. What we're going to do, and I've taken the liberty of cutting the drawer faces to size already, and so we're going to make the drawer face out of oak to match the rest of the vanity, but this little part here is going to be made of ebony. So I think that'll really give a nice, I don't know if you can see that, really give a nice contrast, and it'll match our bathroom vanity very nicely. So that's the plan. In order to make these drawers, or these drawer faces, I've had to make a couple of jigs, and the one is just my original 3-inch hole that we'll center on here. I've got to draw some lines on here for that yet, and so I can just line it up. And then to get these two little areas here, I've got this jig here, and there's a 1/4 inch bit. I have a Makita router with a 1/4 inch bit and a 1/2 inch guide bushing. Well, it's a little more than 1/2 inch because I made it years ago and I had no clue what I was doing. But that slides back and forth in there and gives you those two little areas there. The handle part, I'm going to make a new template for yet, and I'll do another one out of pine before I start cutting up. I don't know what is ebony, a board foot now. I don't even want to know. I have these lying around. They're short. They're too short for a guitar fingerboard. Maybe a bridge or whatever you could make out of it. And I'm sure the guitar builders, if anybody was watching this, would give me crap in the comments for using a perfectly good piece of ebony for a bathroom drawer pull. So, but that's what we're going to use it for. Okay, and we got the jigs out of the way. The specialty router bit that I was waiting for was this pattern routing bit with a round bottom. That's the only way I could figure out to get a round bottom on this hole here. That's a nice round bottom, and then I took a little 1/4-inch router with a 1/4-inch round over bit and just rounded that over. So I've got a little bit of sanding to do, but the bits, this one's new, so it cuts fairly nicely. But yeah, so that's what the plan is. So let's get started making some drawer faces. And I've been working a little bit already. I'm at my horizontal mounted router, and maybe someday I'll shoot a little bit of a video on this because this is so handy. But I'm not going to get into that today. One thing that I need to be concerned about, not on the drawer faces, but on the doors, scalloping this edge, I have to be careful that I can still install that European hinge without drilling a hole through the edge. So since I want all the doors to match, I'm going to take that into consideration. So it's not going to be as big as this one. Yeah, this one would be, that'd be a problem. So anyway, we're going to watch that, but I'm just cutting the first pass. So I have about 3/16 of an inch to the back of the hinge. So I think I'll take maybe another 1/8, maybe not quite, and that'll be it. But I'm going to do one here, like I did those. And to do that, I'm going to bring you in a little closer. So yeah, we're going to just get you in a little closer. Okay, and we're in position, so I'm going to put the X down, and away we go. I'm not sure if you can see me, but yeah, now I'm just going to fine tune this. I think I'm going to leave about maybe a healthy 9/16 on the edge, so because I don't want to drill through for my hinges. Now the doors I could build a little bit differently and get away with it, but I don't want to do that. So anyway, I'm going to set the next cut up, and we'll see where we go from there. Well, I finished the scalloped edge off camera. There wasn't terribly much to cut. I decided to leave 5/8 here. That should have the hinges installed nicely, give me a little extra room for that. So now the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to put this pattern on, and we're going to use my Hitachi router, and we're going to start carving the hole. Okay, and that'll be next. Well, moving on to the next step in creating one of these drawer faces. And this is one I've already, I did my new pattern, my new test piece. And this is the first real one that I've done so far. So I thought I'd bring you along and do the second one with you, and then I'll do the third one off camera again. This is slightly changed from my original prototype. The boss decided that this is 5/8, a 5/8 recess here. Given the geometry of everything, once we had the handle in, we thought it was kind of deep. So this new pattern or new route is a 1/2 inch in depth, and that seems to be working pretty good. I did make a new 3-inch hole jig for cutting these because it's exactly the same size as my drawer face and makes it a little easier to line up. And I already took the liberty of putting the double side tape on it, and I left one to pull off for dramatic effect for the camera. So I marked center on all of these. I don't know if you can see that, just because I wanted to be sure I had it. Now the other thing that I've been trying to do is there's a joint right here, and the oak isn't quite as nice a match as these two pieces here. So I'm going to try to put that to the bottom. And I set up a little jig to hold this all. So we're going to put it in like that. And then I take the tape or the backing off the double side tape. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I can keep it against the fence on that side. I do have a square here. If I don't touch it or don't put any force on it, it seems to stay just good. And that's it right there. Now, when I originally did this, I used my plunge router with a guide bushing and routed a lot of the cavity out. And maybe that's something I should have done again in hindsight. But what I've been doing is just using this bit to plunge and just take it out in basically in 2 steps. Now that flat bottom bit isn't a really good plunge bit, but if I keep it moving and don't go to the edge until I'm all the way down to the first pass on my height setup, it seems to work. So I think that's kind of enough talking for now. Let's get to work. Okay, so yeah, that's good. This isn't right though. There we go. So I'm going to plunge, and I have to keep everything moving. If I let the bit sit in one spot for a while, it makes a black mark. So I've been getting pretty good at it, but who knows? Now, this is the first one I'm filming, so expect the worst. Okay, so here we go. I like to hold on to the router till the bit's completely stopped, and that's just the bearing spinning now. Okay, so I'm going to rotate my tool post to the next depth setting, and then I'm going to go in and do the same thing. Yep, who knows? By the time I get to the last one, I'll get it really good. Okay, here we go again. Yep, I think it's good. I also found it's very important to do a thorough physical inspection of this hole, because once you take this pattern off, the chances of getting it perfectly where or installed again exactly where it was before are pretty low. But I think that is good all the way around. So yeah, not really the best way to do it, but it works and it's faster. I don't have to set up another router and do another jig possibly and all that bother. So this works, but yeah, it works. Just a word about my router. I don't know, this thing's got to be about, no, I don't know, it's a Porter Cable 6900 series router. I don't think they've been made for a while, and this one's definitely an older one. I would have bought this in the early 2000s, and I think I paid like $50 for it. So, heck of a deal, and it's a great router. But one of the things about used routers is often I found with the used ones I've bought, they haven't been used very much. So, if you're looking for a router on a budget, a used one might be a great way to go. Okay, so we're going to move that one out of the way. Okay, so now this can come out, and I have to pry, there it is, I have to pry the pattern off. That, the double side tape I'm using is just the regular indoor carpet tape that I think I've been buying at Home Depot. Yep, and there you go. It looks good. So, we'll do this, we'll take the tape off, get the jig ready for the next one. The other thing too that you want to be careful of when you're using double side tape is not to reuse it. You make one cut with it and then you get new double side tape for the next cut, because it gets contaminated a little bit and then it doesn't stick. And when it fails, it can be bad. So anyway, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, maybe we'll just do it over here. Okay. Now the next operation I need to do is to round this top off. And that wasn't quite as easy as I thought it would be. Where's my router here? The router, I'm just using a small roundover bit, but the bearing and the screw to hold it in were too high. So I found a lower profile bearing, and I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I just went to the to the disc sander and just took a little bit off this. So I'm hoping I can still get a wrench in there to take it off, but this may become a bit specifically for this purpose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to go around clockwise because I'm cutting on the inside. And this is just a little Makita laminate trimmer. There we go. Ooh, I like it. And there it is. So that's one segment of these done. So I've got one more to do. I'm going to do that without talking to you guys. And when I come back, we're going to put the groove in for the handle. Okay, we'll see you then. Okay, well, the last little segment, I made all the round holes, the recesses. And since then, I've been playing with the little grooves that go in here to slide the handle in. Now, this was my first test, and I realized that, let's see, I need something to point with here, that this distance here is longer than that one there, and I didn't like that. So I made some changes, and the first one is nice. I also changed the jig since my prototype. I made it so it indexes into my setup here so that they're all going to be the same. So the other thing that is a little different this time is I'm not going to put this on with double side tape. I have a whole roll here, but this stuff is evil. I cannot stick it on and pull the backing stuff off. It's just impossible. So I don't know. I think I'm going to throw this out. It's probably really old, and that's why it's kind of stuck together. So my hot glue gun is plugged in and ready to go. Like I say, I don't like doing this, but trying to use as little as possible. And then we slide it in like that and put it down. Okay, I have a little Makita router here. What is this thing? What model? 3620. And I think they still make a very similar router to this. This thing has got to be 40 years old, and it just hangs in there beautifully. Also, the first guide bushing that I machined myself, so kind of proud of that. But and it's got a 1/4-inch spiral up bit in it. So, and all I need to do with this, I had to set this a little less because I don't want the handle. I don't know if you can see this. Where's my pointer? I don't want the handle going into the curve. So I raised that a little bit, and it seems to be working good. This goes pretty fast once we get rolling, so without further ado, it's just back and forth. I don't want to pull my hot glue gun with me, and here we go. And let's take a look at it. The bad part is, there it is, this makes it harder to get off. Come on, and you gotta, oh, see, I don't want to damage the edge here. There we go. I got one more to do. I can't break this pattern. There we go. Okay. The routing turned out really nicely. Now I have this working. And I guess just to take the, here, I'm going to do it this way. Just have to take the glue off with a good sharp chisel, which this one isn't because I haven't sharpened it, but it's sharp enough. Hopefully you can see that. And this is a Narex chisel. Lee Valley started selling them, oh my goodness, 20, 25 years ago. And I bought every set that I could. Now there's some out that I don't need or whatever, but my chisel cabinet is, I can't put no more chisels in there. So, but I like these. They work really good and they're not that expensive. At least they weren't in those days. Okay, that's looking really good. I am happy with it. So again, I did the second one. I've got one more to do, and I'll bring you back when I'm cutting the handle. Well, we're at the scroll saw. Off camera, I did a few things. I didn't feel like I wanted to bore you with that. What I did is I had about a 14, about a 1 foot long piece of ebony that was left over from a guitar that we did a number of years ago. And I surfaced it to exactly the right thickness to slide into these two little slots here. And then I redesigned, where is it? Oh, of course, it's far away. I redesigned the handle a little bit. This is close, but it's a little different. I got approval from the boss, so I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit of cutting. I put a new blade in the saw. I haven't cut with it yet because ebony is a little bit tougher than some of the other woods I've been cutting. Mind you, it's only 1/4 inch, so it's not bad. A concern with this handle is there's a long grain going through there and very, very little of it. So if somebody would hit these from the top, I think maybe they'd snap off. But I'm going to try it and see how it works. And if it doesn't work, we'll take the face off and we'll put something else in there. I had considered putting some type of metal in there as well, like brass, but brass doesn't match our decor. So, okay, yeah, Sheila's opinion is pretty important in all of this. So I'm going to just take some time and cut this out, and then we're going to try to fit it, and we're soon going to be done. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Man, that cuts beautifully. Okay, we're going to go around the outside. I like to cut the inside first, and it gives me a little more to hang on to as I cut the outside. Okay, here we go again. There we go. That's it. Let's see how it fits. Now, the one thing I haven't done yet is this is going to need to be rounded. Yeah, it's going to fit in wonderfully. I think it's going to look really cool when it's done. Okay, I'll bring you back when I've got them rounded, and I don't know if I'm going to finish, like do all the sanding and stuff like that on this video. I have a feeling that we're going to end this one once I have it in, and then the next time I'll bring you back when I'm spraying finish on them. So, okay, I'm going to take a break here and get these rounded, and then we're going to be back. Well, there it is, the handle. Comes out quite nicely. It's just a little piece that slides in like that. I've got a little bit of fine tuning on it. It's got a little bump in there from scroll sawing, but I think this is going to look really cool when it's done. Take a look at that. We'll give you a couple of different angles of it. The nice thing that I like about it is there's nothing to hook on here. Now, I did mention when I was sawing, there's going to be a weak spot right there on both sides. But hopefully ebony is pretty tough. I've only used it for guitar fretboards, so I'm not sure how it'll stand up to everyday bathroom use, but I think it should be good. This needs to be sanded yet. I think actually what I'm going to do is, I like the shape of this one so far the best of all my templates. So I might actually leave the edges square initially so that I can use it as a template and make the others. And then once they're all made, then I'll sand them all. And I think, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do this yet. I might actually sand these, like I've got pencil line in here yet, and the edges are kind of sharp. That needs to be softened a bit. And then I might spray this, and then spray this separately, and then put them together. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do, because with this in here, I think spraying and getting good coverage, sorry, I'm not showing properly, getting good coverage in the hole here is going to be a little bit tough. I wish I could say this was my invention, because I really like it. It's cool. So it's going to match the countertop perfectly, and this is going to match the rest of the vanity perfectly. So I think it's going to be wonderful. So I'll bring you back on another video when I'm not sure what exactly I'll be doing, whether I'll show you spraying again or whether I'll show it to you when it's sprayed and we're putting it together or whatever. I guess time will tell us to see excuse me, I can't even talk today. What you'll get to see next on this project, because I'm not 100% sure yet either. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you are watching these, if you're not, and you know about them, please maybe watch a little bit. Please like and subscribe. Like I said before, the subscriber count has kind of hit a lull, and I'm trying to do my best putting videos out, so hopefully you see this and you subscribe. Subscribing costs you nothing. I've had arguments with people telling me, well, what do you have to give this to subscribe? No, you just click the subscribe button. That's all you do. So anyway, take care. Probably a video Saturday or Sunday. So until then, have an excellent Friday, and all the best. We'll see you on the next one.